Fly by the seat of your pants production. Golly, he was talented. Let me tell you what. The gloved one was talented. I made a big mistake yesterday, and I'm going to correct it. So did Tony Joe made a mistake. We're going to correct it. This is one of the things that we have to teach about our Yute. It's all about the Yute. Enough of this thing. Nice catch, T. We got Skipper T in the house. Oh, if you're not familiar with who we are, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Happy Oyster Show. Jimmy Payton's in the house.
Morning, Jimmy. Good morning, Jimmy. I'm going to be pretty much behind the camera today. Welcome. But I wanted to fix my error yesterday at our happy hour. The proper name of the oyster company that plans the March Madness in trying to identify the best tasting oyster on Long Island is Little Creek Oysters in Greenport, New York. Not what I said yesterday, but Little Creek Oysters. Ian and Rosalie are the key people there. They put together the March Madness Oyster Challenge, which, if you've been following us, you know that it's been postponed.
It was an easy mistake to make. I've made it, and a lot of other people, I'm sure, make it, and we're sorry, and we corrected it.
Yep.
And TJ, thank you for that.
I just wanted to address that. But anyway, tune in. See you a little bit. Thanks.
Bang, there it is. And now my my problem is that safety takes no holiday. It was brought to my attention that I did not wear a safety glove. This is a safety glove. I received this from my wife when I got my fancy knife, and it is a cut-resistant glove. It is an FDA, USDA approved material, machine washable, made of 18% stainless steel, 13% polyester, and 69% vinyl. It is the minimum that you should have. Some guys wear a chainmail, literally chainmail. If you're banging out hundreds of these at a pop, probably not a bad idea. If you're a real novice at it, not a bad idea. If you're just Joe Schmo doing it, not a bad idea. I was wrong, and I am the first one to admit it. You know, it's all about the youth. And when I was young in this picture. I was really young in this picture. I was 18 in this picture. 18. What do you think of that, Tony Joe? You didn't know that, did you?
You look like Liam there.
I look like Liam? Liam who?
Liam Cook.
Oh, yeah? 18 in this picture. You can't see my hand, but I had a check for $25,000 in my hand because I sold the business. I sold my third of the business. That's what this picture is, Tony Joe. This picture means a lot to me. I found it in this cube downstairs when I was cleaning, when everybody else was doing stuff. All right? $25,000 in my hand. It started with $5,000 7 years before this. Maybe 8.
So you're 11.
10, 11, in that neighborhood. There it is. I came back with my tail between my legs because I made a mistake here. Thank goodness I didn't spend that check because I gave it back 2 years later. And the rest was history. That's a whole nother story. But right now we're talking about youth and we're talking about learning. And how do you teach somebody about learning? But maybe a little bit of the past. Mix a little of the past, mix a little of the future. How about you? Bring it on home. I had a shop teacher, and the same shop teacher used to say to me, "Do as I say, not as I do." My wife's heard me say that once or twice to some employees. What?
It's an expression that's out there.
And the guy was missing his index finger. How'd you lose that? Well, table saw. Really? Did you have the guard on it? No. Okay? You know? That guy taught me how to make this. Youth. We got to get back to basics is what I'm trying to get at, guys, okay? I learned how to make this out of a piece of steel. The whole shooting match. Take a good look at this thing, man. This is forgery. This hung outside for a long time. It's a triangle. You know, you put it on there.
Time for supper.
Yep, time for supper, okay? Like to cook, right? Forge the whole thing. You got that?
Yeah, that's cool. We should hang that up.
No kidding. This is what else I found downstairs in the basement. I found something else down in the basement. Again, some of my training that we were kind of looking for that really I'm not one to brag. This is one of the last things I am one to do is brag, okay? I'm just not into that. I'm a really low-key guy. But you know, some guys would put this right up on the mantle as soon as you came in and it was lost for a long time. Tony Joe is kind of laughing and smiling. She's gonna come around and say where it hung in our last place. But this is my plaque, 1997
Hold it straight up.
Firefighter of the Year. I'll have you know.
Straight up, straight up, straight up. Yeah, get rid of the glare.
How's that?
Hold it right there, yeah.
So Tony Joe, come around here and just tell the people where this used to hang, so that I'm not, you know, they know I'm not kidding.
Of course, I'm very proud of him for getting this. This goes back to 97. Very proud of him. But make a long story short,
Where did it hang?
he hung it on the stairs going down to the basement.
On the stairwell going down. Just, that's where it went.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't like everybody was going down there. And
Just he and I were going down there.
So that was that. So now that brings us to today's exercise. The minute you stop learning is the minute you stop living, in my book. So either, in the great immortal words of my buddy, Andy, get busy living or get busy dying. So, you're old.
Hey, can anyone tell you
Who Andy is?
Haven't see if anyone can figure that out.
Comments below who Andy is.
Repeat his quote.
Repeat his quote.
Repeat Andy's quote.
Andy's quote, either get busy living or get busy dying.
Let's see if we can identify that.
So consequently, I am always learning. I started in this
Jim
oyster.
Payton, bingo.
What's that?
Jim Payton.
Jim Payton knew who it was?
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Jimmy.
That was a great movie. Great movie. Oh, my mic went way the hell down here. Sorry about that. The oyster business, I got busy in the oyster deal about 5 years ago, thereabouts. I was still in my last life and whatnot. And the more and more I get involved with the oyster business, the more and more I find out how much I don't know. I am not a PhD, I'm not a scientist, I'm not any of those things. But the Billion Oyster Project has a 100-and-something page manual. Link is below. And this is the oyster anatomy. I put this on a clipboard. Now, I am probably going to mess this up to no end. But let's see how badly I really do this, and we'll learn together. Again, I've only been doing this for 5 years, but I've been doing it pretty hardcore. But now we're going to really break it on down to what's going on. So we were talking about shucking yesterday. If you didn't know what we're doing, we were into the shuck thing, and we were dealing with great gun oysters, and they were delicious, and I still got some left. I feel like I'm in MTV Cribs watching your refrigerator. Remember that? You remember that show? You remember that show, Kate, don't you? You remember Cribs? Some of the places, but they always show the refrigerator, and they always open it up real wide. So come on in, and we'll give you a little demo of what's going on. All right, welcome. I got some baby bella mushrooms. I got some white mushrooms. I got some orange juice, protein mix. These are really good when you're fighting cancer. They're good regularly, but when you're fighting cancer and you can't drink too, and you're not, those really work well. Squirty applesauce, a thing of carrots, pork roast deal, and of course, in the Rother, they never showed you the rotter on the MTV show. Oh, no, it isn't. The rotter? They don't know about the. Everybody knows. They call it the crisper, but it's really not. It's called the rotter. Look, it says so right there, crisper. Oh shit. All right, so let's see what we got. I want a nice big one. These are so beautiful. Let me shake them up a little bit. All right. Let's see how we do with that one. Let me take another spare just in case. As I'm cooling the refrigerator and I'm helping out global warming by leaving this open. Oh man, those are kind of small. I don't want the small ones. Oh, they are just so delicious. They're like little nuggets of sweetness. All right, that one's not too bad. All right, let's see how we do with that. I got some beers left. I'm feeling pretty good. I had quite a few last night. I had a good time last night. All right, I'm using my mother's bowl. I don't know why my mother is crying in that picture that picture that I showed you. If you look carefully, you can tell. She looks like she's smiling, but if you knew my mother, she wasn't smiling. Choke up nice and tight on the knife. We're going to try to. It talks about the teacher. This Billy and Oyster schedule training manual from grades 4 through 10, right? Is that what it was, T?
Yes.
4 through 10. It goes into some depth. So you can take it. You can take whatever part of it that you want. Teach the kid about the oyster. Teach about what he's doing with it. Teach what it does. You know, it goes right into all kinds of. It's pretty good. It's pretty in depth, man. Let's see how we do here. How much time are we on? Just out of curiosity. Now I'm going to try to do this as delicately as possible. In the manual, it talks about the teacher and being the teacher. And it says, you know, you better practice this before you go and do it in front of the class. That's what I gotta do. Okay. I hope I don't wreck this thing. We might have to go handheld, T. I'm not sure.
You get used to glove power.
No, I'm talking about you going handheld off of the tripod. All right, here we go, I guess.
Oh.
Now, I wish I had, my shop teacher with me.
Oh, you make better, you have your wife.
My shop teacher might be actually watching, actually. All right. How's this going to do like that? Like that, maybe?
You should actually laminate that.
No, we can print another one if we have to, but.
Oh, I know, I'm saying we could have it laminated.
Obviously, we know what the shell is, the mantle. We can kind of check it out in here, and we can see the gills. If you want to come in a little bit tighter, maybe you can.
I'm keeping it on the oyster, so you tell us what we're looking at.
How about that? There you go. Yeah. Here's the gills of the oyster again. I pulled back part of the labia, the labial palps. Is that correct? Again, I'm not a great Latin. Been a lot of years. Now you can see how that comes apart like that. Again, the gills. How tight are you in there, T? Really tight? You can see pretty good? Now we'll come over here to this side over here a little bit. Now here's where I was getting ridiculed. The ADD, adductor, not abductor, adductor. Again, my tongue is not in the best of shape, but it's getting better every day. Okay? So now we look back here on the back side of that. Right there. Right here. You see it? The heart.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. Okay. Now, what's going on over here? The mouth is going to be over in here somewhere, and its anus is going to be over in here somewhere, according to our deal.
Should be an oyster screaming, "Eat me."
You think that's what he's screaming right now? Okay, so I think that's about as far as I should go right there. I'm going to stop there. I think I did pretty damn good, actually. I'm going to give myself a B+.
You know, go and suck that and eat it.
What's that?
Probed the GD thing, so now eat the poor thing.
Oh my goodness. Now, Tony Joe's been naming every single one of our oysters that we have out there. Oh, I got baby pictures to show you guys. All right. Safety. This is going to be a first. I'm pairing a Great Gun oyster and a cup of regular coffee. Not bad. I don't think I would pair that again. Try it. You tell me what you think in the comments below. Coffee and an oyster. No. Beer? Yeah. Coffee? I don't think I would pair it with a coffee. Maybe like a espresso with a Zambuca in it? Maybe? Black? Some people drink black coffee, maybe black coffee, but with the sugar and the milk and whatnot. But then oyster stew and milk. Again, now my cookness is what I like to do. You got to teach your kids how to cook. Teach your kids how to cook. Teach your kids how to dance.
Teach your kids how to cook and they can feed themselves alive.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, you know, the world we live in right now is extremely different. It was extremely different April 20th, 1999, Tony Joe.
What was?
The world changed drastically in 1999 when Columbine went down. I was scared to death for my kids in 1999. My oldest right now at the time was 2. Columbine happened. I didn't know if the public schools were safe enough for my child. I don't have to talk about what happened in 2001.
Where'd that happen? What state?
In the epicenter. We were right there, baby. Right there. This is.
Our baby was a month.
Our baby was 2 months old, right? Yeah, a little over a month old, our youngest. And our oldest was 4 years old. And now I'm dealing with that. An attack. So, hey, youth. We got an age group that's following us in their 20s to 60s.
No one older?
Yeah, we got some older than that. But the main demographic, according to the analytics, Tony, is...
All right.
The analytics are amazing. I'm listening, guys. I'm listening to what you guys are saying. We're open for any suggestions that you guys got to say. I know we're in some trying times right now. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. My glove, my this, my that. I'm going
We're
back.
on it together. It's not just us. It's everybody. It's the world. The world is flat. We're in this together.
The world is flat.
I'm grateful in the United States, not somewhere else. So that's one thing to be proud of where we're from and grateful. There's always something to be grateful for. Don't forget that. Start a gratitude journal, everybody. You'll be amazed.
Oh, the journal idea is an excellent idea, Tony Joe.
Every night
All right, you
before
come.
go
Hey, Tony, if you're going to start to preach, you got to get over here in front of here and not just preach over there because they can't hear you over there. So come on over. You have to preach a little bit. Where are we at? How much time we got? I think I've covered everything that we were going to cover. You know, it's all about the youth, guys. You got to try to make it sound like it's coming out of your mouth for the very first time, parents. That's what makes it fun for them. That's a job in itself right there. Over and over and over, the ABCs gets a little tiring. So hats off to those guys. Hats off to the guy that keeps on drilling it. Hats off to those guys. TJP, you gotta come back now. Where are you going? Well, no, it's coming to you right now. Our youth, we were scared back in those days. We were really scared back in the days that I was talking about. But we got through it. Tony Joe got through it. I got through it. We were young parents.
Well, our kids were young. We weren't necessarily young parents, so we weren't that young.
It's trying times right now, and the kids might be getting on your nerves. We feel it. We've been there. We got the T-shirt. What can we do to help you? That's what we're here for. What do you got, Pete? All you. Journal.
Well, before I go to the journal, I was just talking to my family that with these trying times, we can either come out of these and be miserable and have things to do that we should have done, or we can just grab the bull by the horns and get productive now. When have we ever had to stay close to home? And for some of us, our neighbors here and all around the globe, we have to stay in, get things done that you've wanted to get done, engage the family. Easier said than done. But make this a productive time so when history talks about it, we can reflect back and say, boy, you know what I did then? And have it be a positive thing as opposed to the doldrums. Okay, with that being said,
that was well said, T.
With that being said, you know what I started doing and what people have told me for years and people do, and you very well may already be doing it, is grab yourself a notepad. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be anything. And every night before you go to bed, write down what you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything profound. It could
one sentence.
It could be one sentence. It's the journal is just for you. There's no one else's eyes that need to see it. But when you start writing down what you're grateful for, which indicates what you have, as opposed to some of the public look at what I don't have, it's amazing how as the days go by, there's a sense of content, happiness, and just fulfillment within you that all's good. And even though we're dealing with this, it's how we make it. It's like you fall down, it's how many times you get up. But try that gratitude journal. It's just for you. No one needs to see it. And every night before you go to bed, before you put that light out, tell yourself, hey, what am I grateful for? It's a great way to end the day.
I like it. I like it, T. And you know what? You can teach your children to do the same thing. You incorporate that right into that story time. And it doesn't have to be fancy. Just, hey, but the idea is that you teach them to write it down. I can't emphasize this enough. If you're teaching anybody 3 times is the trick. Talk about it, show it, talk about it again, or do it again, or whatever. 3 times is the trick.
And what's cool too is as you commit to doing this before you put your light out at night, you can go back to it, and as you write into it day after day after day, you can look back months later and be like, wow, look where I was. Boy, it was the COVID-19 time.
Yeah.
And, you'll be able to identify your own growth. Again, it's for your eyes. But anyway.
On that one, I like that. Teach the kid how to be practical. Teach the kid how to be compassionate. Teach the kid how to be understanding. It's more than just academia right now. It's about being practical and teaching them certain things like compounding. We'll have more about that at a different time. All right. I got nothing more. Anybody else? Any questions? Oh, baby pictures. I'm sorry. I almost forgot about baby pictures. Let me go run into my refrigerator in here because I'm going to have to go release them in a little minute. Be right back. I had baby pictures. I had the babies in there. Yesterday I was running around like a cuckoo man. This is a quickie last little thing. I was running around like a cuckoo man, and I wanted to share these with you guys to show you. I don't know. Can you come in tight, T? These came out of the Flupsy that were overwintered. It's kind of the runts in the crap barrel. boy, there was a lot of crap in there and a lot of shell and a lot of whatever. But we had about 2 liters. You know, it was probably 10 liters is what went in there, and there was only 9 liters that was left after the winter. Now, where did the other liter go? Who the hell knows? But we had some shell. This one here was actually together. These are actually, they're alive. They're alive. They're chilled out. But these were all born at the same time, believe it or not. Look at this guy. He's looking pretty nice, isn't he? Now look at the growth on him. Where the hell? How did he get that growth? Now that growth was probably from, I'm gonna say November-ish, is when we put him to sleep. And now this was like the first time, just a little bit, that we woke him up. And again, this was the junk, the runts, the guys we root for. You know, the super average Joes. Now, in a little bit from now, like September, October, we're going to have to really make some serious decisions about what's going on with these guys. They will be over 2 years old by then.
We'll keep you updated on everything.
We'll keep you updated. It might, you know, we're farming here, okay? Might be taking up a little too much room. We might have to figure out some way of maybe releasing them to the wild somewhere, is my thoughts. The runts go to the wild, but maybe that's the wrong thing to do. I'm learning.
We have time.
We have a lot of time. I've got a lot of questions. Like I said before, the more I learn, the less I know. So that might not be the right thing to do. It might be the right thing to, I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I'll keep you posted on what's going on with the runts.
Wolfie's saying bring them out to sea.
Out to sea to where? Out in the ocean? I guarantee you they will die if we put them out in the middle of the ocean at that size or whatever size it is they are. That they're taking up too much space. Whatever it may be. We'll talk about it later. Plenty of time to talk about it. This is what I'm talking about. We never stop learning. I thank each and every one of you guys for coming in every single week. You guys are what makes me click. You know, I appreciate it. I have a lot of fun doing the show. I get a lot of feedback. I get a lot of people that say, you know, and I love it. I appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. I want everybody to be cool. I want everybody to be kind. I want everybody to be happy. And of course, I want everybody to eat me. Have fun, guys. See you next week.